Please join the Wildcat marching band for the playing of our university's alma mater, Northern Pride, written by Professor of Communications, Dwight Brady.
I might have to dig for them. They were out of size at one point.
Tinted windows when we slide stick. Glock for the Draco. No, I'm round with the slime. The snitch the cut time. 21. We the Fox 5 gang. It's getting whack. Snitching on my facts. Back it up. 223 gon' make it. Back it up. 21. Tryna strip it. Gotta change my outfit. Ain't black enough yet.
along the shorelines of Lake Superior inside the world's largest wooden dome. The wait for the beginning of a brand new college football season is upon us. The Dragons of Minnesota State Moorhead have made the trek to the Upper Peninsula to try and spoil the Northern Michigan Wildcats home opener. The kickoff to NMU's 2025 campaign will feature a team that the Wildcats have never faced before in their 121 years of playing college football. Both squads are looking to start off their year in the best way possible with a victory in their column. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Austin Graham, alongside Emma Maratz. Emma, it is great to be back here in the Superior Dome for some Wildcat football.
It for sure is, Austin. It is a very much anticipated football game. We haven't seen Northern take the field at least since April, during that spring football game. But I'm really excited to see our green and gold take the field today.
You're absolutely right about that. If we want to get technical about it, yes, the last time the Wildcats took the field was back in April for a spring exhibition game against the University of Minnesota Duluth. The last time the Wildcats were on the field was sometime last season. If you want to talk about a regular season game, Emma, it's been about 9 months since this team has seen the field. The offseason looked very well for them, especially that spring game, as we mentioned before. This is a great Week 0 matchup between these two teams. You have Minnesota State Moorhead, who was 6-5 in 2024, has a lot to really kind of build on coming into this game. NMU looking for their first win in a few years, in the last few years. So I think it's a really great matchup. A hungry team in Northern versus a very a scrappy team in Minnesota State Moorhead.
I truly do agree, and I feel like Northern is hungry for a great start off to their season with a win.
So the coin toss has happened here. Minnesota State Moorhead is going to be kicking off towards Northern. So the Wildcats are going to receive here in the first half. That means Minnesota State Moorhead will be getting the ball in the second half here. So on the kickoff here for Minnesota State Moorhead is going to be number 42, Sebastian Amaruto. And ladies and gentlemen, this building is starting to come alive here, and we are kicking off the 2025 Wildcats season. As here we go in the backfield, the Wildcats trying to storm this up the field, and that is that is number 20, Noah Dover, on the reception there for the Wildcats. A great start here for this Wildcat offense here in the backfield. Take another look at this reception here for Noah Dalbert. Stopped just shy there, probably at the 25-yard line. And so here we go with the Wildcats. First play of the 2025 season. 7 to go on the play clock here. Wildcats taking their time. It's handed off from Austin Riddle, so I couldn't quite see who was on the reception there. It's a gain for a few yards. They'll bring up second down.
It was a great starting drive from the Wildcats, but they still have a long way to go.
Absolutely, Emma, and here we go on 2nd and 3rd for the Wildcats. Just trying to chip away. This is something I talked a little bit with Coach Shane Richardson about the other day in his media availability, and he talked about, we can't just take this a game at a time. We have to take this at a quarter and a play at a time, as Riddle fakes the handoff, and he's going to take off by himself. And, it was really interesting, Emma, to see that Shane Richardson had said he wasn't sure who was going to start this game. Eventually ended up going with Austin Riddle. We'll take another look at this play here. You see Riddle fakes the snap, fakes the handoff and takes off on his own.
Shane has to have some strategy that we just will figure out during the season, but I have full faith in him that he knows what he's doing.
Handoff this time is going to go to number 2, Jahi Wood. Interesting, Jahi Wood changing his number. Last year, I believe he was number 28, going to number 2 this year. I think I figured out his favorite number. Definitely number 2 this year. Emma, talk a little bit about Wood. I mean, he's just been phenomenal for this team over the last year or so.
He definitely has, and he's one of our stronger offensive players. I have to say that he was a standout last season, and will have some great feeling this year, especially with such an early start.
Here we go with Riddle, hands it off once more to Jahi Wood, and the Minnesota State Moorhead defense read that very well. Nice stop there by this MSU Moorhead defense.
The MSU defense is really strong, especially last year.
You can see it right here, just the way they're able to read plays. So let's see what they decide to go with this time. 20 seconds on the game, or pardon me, the play clock as we approach the 13-minute mark in the first quarter here. Down to 10 on the play clock. Down to 7. Handed off this time to Noah Daubert. And you know, this is interesting, and it's a fumble. It's going to be recovered, and I believe the Dragons have recovered the fumble by Daubert.
Very smart play on both parts.
Going on the field after the forward progress was stopped. 4th down.
We apologize for the audio there. Take another look at this. I mean, he just kind of, what a great hit. I can't quite see the number there on Minnesota State Moorhead, but hit him hard enough to get that ball out of Daubert's hands.
Definitely looked like an ankle biter to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you kind of saw, I believe that was number 9. Yes, it was Tate Gustafson who actually came in and made that other hit. It wasn't the initial hit, and Northern's going to have to punt this away. I don't believe it was a fumble. It was recovered. If it was recovered by NMU, and they're going to have to elect to kick this away as it was 4th and 5. And it's going to go all the way down the field. Nice punt there by the Wildcats. And, you know, not quite the start that NMU was looking for here, Emma, but even you got to credit that Minnesota State defense a little bit.
Yes, for sure. Like you were mentioning, Tate Gustafson, he was a strong defensive leader last year. He is one of MSU Moorhead's top seniors that they have coming into the season.
Absolutely right about that. Gustafson, definitely a veteran for this Minnesota State Moorhead team. And here we go. Moorhead trying to get a pass, and that seemed like some sort of miscommunication there. It looked like the target for Moorhead there was Tyson Brandt. Couldn't quite get it. And that was Jack Strand, who's the starting quarterback here. Talk a little bit about him and just how impressive he has been, Emma.
Yeah, so totally, Austin. Strand was all NSIC top honors, and he is only 385 yards away from hitting 10,000 passing yards.
And he connects there with Madden Thorson for a reception, and it's going to be 3rd down here for the Dragons. This is something you and I kind of talked about leading up to this game, Emma, is the contrast of offenses between these two teams. The Dragons, they love to go through the air. The Wildcats, they like the run game.
That is unique to think about, though, is that the Wildcats love their speed, while the Dragons have to say they like the air, but
I mean, it's not a coincidence, right? Dragons like to fly through the air, and it looks like Strand is going to be sacked. And the Wildcats look like they're going to take over on downs, or maybe not take over on downs, but it looks like, yeah, and they're going to send Strand out, and the Dragons are going to have to kick this one away. What a great defensive stand by the Wildcats, Emma.
For sure, Wildcat defense is looking great this year.
And you can see it right there. What a great read. What a great read by this defense. And the Dragons are going to have to punt this one away. And it's going to go into the NMU sidelines, it looks like there. And, I mean, can you ask for a better start to this, Emma? I mean, both of these teams coming out with really strong defensive stands in their opening drives.
They for sure are both hungry for a win. Like you mentioned earlier, Austin, Northern is looking for a win after a few-year drought, and I think this NMU team has great potential, especially we're only 10 minutes and 35 seconds left into the quarter, and they are starting out with a banger.
Absolutely. Both teams kind of, you know, it's really early in the game, just kind of feeling each other out. So we'll see how this goes. But here we go with this second drive here for NMU. Trying to figure out what the referees are talking about here. Oh, they're just changing out the game balls. And looks like the game clock, or pardon me, game clock, the play clock is going to be reset there. It seemed like there's some sort of miscommunication going on with the referees. Snap is off. Riddle has the ball. And he gets a block from Wood, and that's a nice run there by Riddle. Austin Riddle, the Marquette native, actually, transferred from Michigan Tech a few seasons ago. Talk a little bit about him there, Emma.
Riddle is looking strong. He was able to move past a lot of MSU Moorhead's defense and don't find an open pocket, which is something that we all look for when we are trying to get through.
Right, you can credit that block to Wood, too. It was a really nice a block there by Jahi Wood. And we're down to 10 on the play clock here. Gets it off. It's going to be a handoff. A pitch, never mind, this time to Noah Daubert, and he is down.
Daubert has been making long strides. He was a standout in last season's spring game and is definitely making his name for himself right now.
So 3rd and 1. The Wildcats trying to get their first down of the day and of the season here. And, you know, Emma, I'm kind of looking so far. It looks like the main targets here for Austin Riddle are going to be Jahi Wood and Noah Daubert.
For sure.
Here we go once more. This time to Daubert again, I believe. I'm trying to look through the pile here. And it looks like that's going to be good enough for a Wildcat first down. And it was Noah Daubert. I mean, he has just been phenomenal so far throughout this game. Take another look here. Go ahead and break it down here, Emma.
Daubert goes through the pile. He was able to make a few more yards to get us that first down that we all strive for.
And nice work there by number 72 of the Wildcats, DeMonte Lee. A little flair for the dramatic. And we pick up where we left off here. Austin Riddle driving there for the Wildcats. Didn't look like he gained too much. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats. Did you pick that up on DeMonte Lee on that replay there?
I did not really see it, but it looked like they all were having fun out there.
It was pretty funny. I mean, it helps get the first down, and he was still coming out of the dog pile, and he just put his arm like right up for the first. That's the kind of character you need. You know, that's kind of leadership you need.
Right. They do seem to have a lot of strong communication on both sides.
10 on the play clock. Riddle hands it off to Wood. Jahi Wood taking off. He's still on his feet. Wood towards the end zone for the touchdown.
That is a Wildcat touchdown here in the Superior Dome.
And this place has come unglued for the first touchdown of the 2025 season. And Emma, we talked about this with this run offense that Northern has had here. It looks like we're going to hurry up and probably go for the extra point, and they're going to bring in Michael Carlin, who was 8 for 10 on field goals last year. One of the best kickers in the GLIAC last season. Let's see if he can get the Wildcats the extra point here. And straight through, it'll be good.
That is an extra point for Northern.
You know, I have a question for you, Emma, and we'll take another look here. Sure, but you know, the question I have for you is how important was that for Northern to get the first points in this game? Let's take another look at how it happened first here. I mean, you can see.
And Jahi Wood takes off like a bullet.
And a couple nice blocks. What a great block there by Daubert.
It is incredibly important to have the first points in the GLIAC season for Northern, as they are hungry for a win.
Absolutely.
For sure, and they are ready to come out. If this offense keeps it up, I will not be surprised if we have an NMU win on our hands today.
Don't say it yet, but I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, that's a very good assessment. And, you know, like we talked about, you know, this team is very hungry to start the season off right. MSU Moorhead on the other side, trying to, you know, pick up where they left off last year. Like as we mentioned, they finished 6-5 there. But, you know, very important for either team to get this first point, especially with how the defenses have kind of mirrored each other so far in this one. As Carlin is going to send this one downfield. And it looks like the Dragons are going to take off with this one. Down the field he goes. What a nice return there.
Caught by number 8, Mikhail Pearson.
Absolutely. And that was a great run there by Pearson. Just, I mean, just take another look. Look for yourselves here. Great blockage for Pearson as well. And as you mentioned, Emma, he just kind of turned on the jets and took off.
I love how both teams are communicating without us even really knowing. They are just so in sync this year. It's incredible.
And, we mentioned this as we came on the air. We kind of talked about it before, too. I can't think of a better matchup for either of these two teams. And we'll get more into that here as Strand is going to look to pass, finds a target in the middle of the field, and number 6, Gage Florence.
Strand is really close to hitting his 10,000 yards, but he's also really good on accuracy.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talk about those 10,000 yards. That's just in the NSIC, in the conference that MSU Moorhead plays in. And that's just 10,000 passing yards in that conference. I mean, it just speaks to who he is. And it's intercepted! Strand intercepted it! And it's intercepted by Jax Hurdle. He's going all the way for a Wildcat touchdown.
That is currently 13-0 for Northern. If you can't tell, our crowd is going wild here in the Superior Dome today.
What an absolutely electric start to this 2025 campaign.
It looks like they're going to go for the extra point, Austin.
And Michael Carlin sent back out there. He's going to have a busy day if this keeps up. Nothing he's not used to, though.
You said that he's a really strong kicker,
and it's shown.
It is showing.
Kick is up, and it's good.
It's good. Current score for today's game is MSU Moorhead 0, Northern Michigan University 14, with 7 minutes and 26 seconds left in the first quarter.
Let's take another look here. Strand, it looked like he was trying to target, I can't quite see the number there. He was trying to target Gage Florence once more. An absolutely wonderful read by Jax Hurdle. So as he mentioned, a 14-0 ball game. In the first quarter here, 7 minutes and 26 seconds to go. It's
You mentioned
go ahead.
You mentioned Gage Florence was Strand's target. Gage Florence currently has the MSU record for 297 receiving yards.
So not a bad person to not too bad players to try and pick off. I mean, you pick off Jack Strand as we were talking about, and then the target and Gage Florence. One target we haven't seen so far from MSU Moorhead has been Brady Perryman. Him and Jack Strand were both picked to be on the top 100 watch list by Division II collegefootball.com. I'm interested to see, it's only 14-0. It's only 7:26 in the first quarter. We haven't seen Perryman get a lot of targets yet.
We still have 3 quarters to go, but those are definitely players to watch in this ball game.
And the Wildcats are rolling right now. It's going to be punted all the way to the backfield. This will be brought up to the 25, and we have a penalty marker down on the field. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. It's just going to move this up to the 25-yard line. And, as you said, Emma, a lot of football is still to be played here. Still other players that we have yet to see for really Minnesota State Moorhead.
On the kicking team. Ward is elected to take the ball at the 35-yard line. First down.
As we said, nothing out of the ordinary, so this will just go to the 35-yard line because the ball went out of bounds. So once more, Jack Strand with 1 pick to his name here so far in this contest. He's going to look to pass once more, and it looks like it's going to be caught there. Nice reception by number 17 and Carson Elbert. And, Strand's got to be maybe kicking himself a little bit. You can't get that rattled, though.
Right. It's week 0. You have a long, long way to go this season, and you're also shaking off those first game nerves.
Exactly, and you're not wrong about that. But you don't want one mistake to turn into 2. Strand looking for another target, and he finds Florence this time. Nice throw, nice reception there by Florence. And that'll be good enough to move the chains for the Dragons, as this will be a 1st and 10 at about the 49-yard line here. Strand commanding the offense. looks over, taking his time with it a little bit here. Down to the 20 on the play clock. He's going to have Florence go the other way. This time the target is Brady Perryman, who we talked about earlier, and he is going to move the chains once more for the Dragons. And now, Emma, we can kind of see Minnesota State Moorhead trying to march down the field.
They're trying to gain those yards that they lost earlier during the game.
It almost seems like they're trying to make up for that pick, right?
They're trying their hardest.
We talked about it. We've mentioned it several times since we've come up on air. This is an offense that likes to fly through the air, and you're going to see it once more here.
And
Strand in trouble, and he's going to have to throw it away before he almost took the sack. What a great rush there by the Wildcats, though, as that was, I believe, number 84. I'm trying to find the number. No, that was not number 84. I couldn't quite see. I believe that was actually, I couldn't quite see. I'm trying to figure out who it is on this replay here. It was actually number 91, DeMarcus Chappell. The jersey was like a little wrinkle when he came up, but what a great hustle there by Chappell. Here we go, 2nd and 10. Strand looking to fly through the air, and he's going to overthrow it.
He's been looking for a lot of his players, but Northern defense is biting at their heels.
It was a great throw there. He kind of just overthrew it a bit, did Strand. We're at the 3rd and 10 now. As I mentioned earlier, the Dragons still trying to march down the field. I mean, I wonder what's going to have to happen here. I know this defense loves to fly through the air. Maybe we'll see a run here.
Maybe we will, Austin.
Strand finds a target. This time again in Florence. Going to be brought down. We're at the 4th down here. Emma, they're kind of in that no man's land. I mean, do you go? It's kind of like, do you go for it? Do you not go for it? We're on 4th and 5 here. What do you think?
They're trying to figure out what their best trajectory is, and they're still trying to figure it out.
Nice run there by Florence on that replay there, and a great read by that Wildcat defense to stop them just short. And it looks like they're going to go for it here. I can't say I don't blame them. Down to 10 on the play clock. Strand looking for somebody downfield. He's going to find a target. It's Madden Thorson, and it's incomplete. Wildcats take over on downs.
Madden Thorson was so close, yet he
so
was
far.
just unable to get it.
It was a great shot downfield by Strand. I mean, Emma, they had to. They had to go for that.
They had to.
Take another look at this here. Way downfield. It looked like he might have got his hand on it. I don't know. He might have overthrown him a little bit. But either way, great coverage by NMU. And the Cats are going to take over here. 4:58 left to go here in the first quarter.
20 seconds on the play clock.
Right about that. Down to the 15. Riddle. He's going to hand this one off to Daubert.
Daubert's really been making his name stand out, and everyone needs to know Daubert's name.
I agree, and he got that opening kickoff return. Didn't gain too many yards, but since then he's done a magnificent job, as you'll see right here, Emma. Nice run there by Daubert. And I totally agree. By the end of the night, we might know Daubert's name.
We might.
Here we go here. Riddle. Never mind, this is not Riddle. This is a different quarterback, and he's going to be brought down, and that quarterback is Duke Chavold. It looked like he was a little indecisive of what he wanted to do there. It looked like he was maybe trying to find a target. Either way, Emma, great read there by the Dragons defense.
Like you mentioned, Austin, Shane Richardson, head coach, didn't know who his starters were going into this game, which I think is a unique take. However, he's also trying to get all of these players their time to shine and figure out who's going to be the best leaders for both their offense and their defense.
I agree, Emma, and here we go with Chavold once more. He's going to pitch this one off to Noah Daubert once more, and I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to move the chains, and it looks like it will be. It's a Wildcat first down. And like you were saying, Emma, with all of the quarterback situation, I talked to Shane Richardson earlier this week in the media availability. He did mention a few different quarterbacks maybe seeing the field a little bit. And, he's sticking to his word here. We've seen Austin Riddle and Duke Cheval come in and control the offense here. Down to 10 on the play clock, and Cheval is going to run it. Looked like he was going to try to pitch it to somebody, and he did. He got it to Daubert in time. Nice fake run by Cheval there. Back to Daubert, and we are now at 2nd and 10 with 2:50 left to go in the first quarter.
With only 2:50 left to go, Northern has made strides holding off the MSU Moorhead offense, but also their defense has been really strong as well.
Absolutely. And we're talking about strides here. We saw Daubert make those strides in that last replay there. And they're going to give it looks like he is going to be doing the brunt of the work here for the run game for the Wildcats. And just as I said that, they're going to have him come out. He needs a break. He's been doing phenomenal so far here today. We're at 3rd and 3 from the 44-yard line. Take another look here.
Daubert's been putting in the work, but like we said earlier, we're going to know his name by the end of this game.
And the Dragons have picked up on it too. They know that they're going to hit. So here we go once more. 10 seconds on the play clock. It's pitched off this time to Jahi Wood. Nice read there by Kenan Stowers.
A few yards are gained here.
And those few yards are good enough for another Wildcat first down. And, although there was a first down there, I thought that was a great read by Kenan Stowers to take down Jahi Wood. Take a look at it here, Emma. You can see it right there. Stowers made the initial contact on Wood, who is also going to be doing a lot of the brunt of the work here for this Wildcat run game. 15 on the play clock. Off to Wood once more. The Dragons are going to pick up on that as a fleet of Dragons stop that play. Emma?
The Dragons are really noticing who these standout Wildcat players are.
So we're down to a minute left here in this first quarter. It's been a very explosive one. Go ahead and break this down here.
We have a lot of...
a lot of Dragons.
Yeah, a lot of Dragons against one Jahi Wood.
Yeah, absolutely. Down to 40 here in the first quarter.
15 seconds left on the play clock.
Have to get something off here and imagine Coach Richardson is just going to run this down into the second. Nonetheless, here we go. Cheval looking to pass. Just kind of lobs this one over to number 49 in the Wildcats. And that'll be Lachlan Acker with that. And I can only imagine the Wildcats are just going to run this down to the end of the quarter. Emma, what an explosive start for the Wildcats.
For sure. That is one great way to start off your first collegiate season.
And, it's a nice play here by Cheval. We talked about how this team doesn't like to pass a lot, and you saw it right there. A nice little trick there just to kind of run this out to the end of the quarter.
They're connecting in a way that we've not seen in a few years, which I have to say is very refreshing, but also very fun. Having 14 points within your first quarter really proves who you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, when we had the game against Minnesota Duluth to open the season last year, the Bulldogs were up 14-0 at halftime.
Right.
And it didn't fare well for the Wildcats here, but now you turn this around. NMU's up 14-0 in the first game of the season at the end of the first quarter. It very well could be the same story for halftime, but I mean, I just can't think of how explosive that first quarter was there for NMU. As I've mentioned before, Coach Richardson telling me, we have to take it one play in one quarter at a time, and that's what we're going to do here.
Once you mentioned that is really inspirational to think about, though, too, is that it not only applies just to football, but you can apply it to every single sport. You have to take it one quarter and one play at a time because there's no other way to think about it.
Absolutely. In a situation like this, absolutely. And, it's still a close game. As explosive as the first quarter as it was, Emma, it's still 14-0. It's still a 2-point game. Chavold hits the fake. And it was going to be, I believe that's Jahi Wood again on the run. And he's going to be in for a Wildcat first down. Emma, they're getting closer to the end zone once more.
They're pushing their way through.
Ball will be spotted here on the Minnesota State Moorhead 29-yard line as we await the next play here.
They're finding ways to get more yards down so they can possibly make a pass in the end zone.
And you know, Chavold, I've noticed he's a little more prone to throwing the football than Austin Riddle is. And here we go, Chavold. He's going to run the fake play again. And this time he hands it off to Dahmer. But, you know, those last few, you know, although they may not have been throws, you know, they're kind of, he's been pitching the ball off to a lot of other running backs and whatnot, as to where Austin Riddle is usually likes to hand it off, or he'll just run it himself, too. I mean,
that's the unique thing about both quarterbacks is that they have, like, their own style.
And, you know, I kind of think that plays into how Coach Richardson wanted to play both the quarterbacks in this game. Down to 10 on the play clock here. Chavold gets the snap off. He's going to run this off to Jahi Wood, who's still up on his feet going towards the end zone. Nice tackle there by Gavin Charto on Minnesota State Moorhead to thwart Wood's efforts, but Emma, another Wildcat first down.
Like we said, Jahi Wood and Noah Dorbert are going to put in a lot of effort tonight on the field.
They have been quite the tandem so far here. I mean, just look at Wood bullying his way through a couple different players. And Jahi Wood is, there we go. I think he was on the run again on that play. And he's going to be going up to the sideline for a much-deserved break as the Wildcats inch closer to the end zone.
You mentioned inching. They're inching their way. Every single yard is a step closer to a touchdown.
Absolutely. And it seems to be some sort of confusion on what's going on. We're down to 15 on the play clock. Wildcats trying to get something off. They're going to have to here in 10 seconds. Chavold has the ball, and he's going to be hit hard there. What a nice read by the Dragons defense. That was going to be Jack Johnson on the tackle there. No, not the, there's a penalty marker down on the field now. I believe I saw one fly.
I believe I did too.
I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. Could have been something else. I was going to say, it's not Jack Johnson, the musician. It is Jack Johnson, the D-back there for the Dragons. It was a nice read that he had on Chavold. 12 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Chavold with the ball towards the end zone, and it's caught for another Wildcat touchdown.
Caught by Daniel Babcock.
Correction on that, Emma. That was actually number 8. I believe that was number 81, Jake Heemstra, but we'll take another look at it here in a moment.
You might be right, Austin.
Nonetheless, it's a Wildcat touchdown.
It's another Wildcat touchdown in the books for the first game of the season.
This will bring Michael Carlin out once more for the extra point. Kick is up. And it's good. Making this a 21-0 ball game here in the Superior Dome.
With not even 12 minutes left on the clock, and it's already 21-0. That is a very strong start to your season.
Let's take another look at this here as Chavold connects downfield into the end zone. And that was number 81. I was correct about that. Jake Heemstra, the fullback out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, on the catch to make this a 21-0 Wildcat lead.
I wonder how electric everyone must be feeling down on that sidelines.
It's quite the atmosphere here right now. The band is jumping up and down. I mean, this crowd is pretty excited right now, it seems. I was going to mention earlier, you know, Minnesota State Moorhead and really a lot of the teams that we host here in the Superior Dome, they travel very well. The Dragons look a little deflated right now, but 21-0. not the greatest going into the second quarter here as we approach halftime. But I mean, the Wildcats are rolling right now, and again, just the chipping away. I can't stress it enough. I'm going to sound like a broken record by the end of the night. But, like I said.
We might, but it's only the first game of the season, Austin.
So Michael Carlin, once more, will send this one downfield. Into the backfield, and the Dragons are taking off here. Not really much of a choice. Nice run there by Peyton Longmire. An even better stop there by that Wildcat defense.
For sure. Like you mentioned, the Moorhead might be feeling a little bit deflated. Oh my God.
Deflated, yep, absolutely. There we go.
That's the word.
Deflated, kind of the same thing. But yeah, like you said, you can't kind of let that get to you right now,
There's still a while to go left in this game.
And we're going to see Jack Strand. Like I said, we saw it earlier. This is kind of the same position the Dragons were in last time, and Strand was able to get them down to the other side of the field within like 2 or 3 plays. So that is definitely the one thing that has helped this team, the Dragons, I should say. That's definitely the plus to their offense. Strand's got one heck of an arm on him, and it can get you down the field faster as opposed to the run game. But it's worked very well for the Wildcats so far here.
Their communication on and off the field is great. Strand is able to make a few complete passes.
And here we go with Strand, looking for a target. And I believe he found one there, and number 14, Kelly Johnson.
We mentioned Johnson earlier today, too.
Oh, that was Jack Johnson. Now, I don't know if those two are related or not. Could be, but yeah, that was Kelly Johnson, the wide receiver out of Alexandria, Minnesota, on the catch for the Dragons. 3rd and 1 for Minnesota State Moorhead. A huge stop needed here for the Wildcats. Snap is off. Strand finds a target. This time it is Gage Florence, and he'll move the chains for the Dragons. Florence has been one of his main targets so far in this game here.
For sure. Even looking at last season, Florence and Strand were a dynamic duo, and Strand always seemed to be able to connect really well with Florence.
And as you can see right there on that replay, definitely one of the go-to guys for this Dragons squad.
Oh, for sure.
This time, Strand hands it off. One of the first handoffs we've seen from this Dragons squad all game, and the Wildcat defense going to read that perfectly. After getting the first down, though, I think that was kind of expected.
For sure.
9:53 and counting on the clock here. 21-0 NMU here live in the Superior Dome. If you're just joining in, I'm Austin Graham alongside Emma Moratz. This is week 0 for Division II college football. Jack Strand with the ball, trying to find a target. What a great throw and an even better catch by Gage Florence. That was beautiful, Emma.
That was beautiful.
Might take another look at that here in a second. But he had to get that off.
He had to.
So here we go. 25 on the play clock. The 1st and 10 for the Dragons once more. Strand fires one way downfield, and it is caught. What a catch. No, they said it wasn't a catch. Incomplete pass. Oh my goodness. What an effort, though, from Jack Strand and Carter Burancott. I can't believe that. Look at this, Emma.
That was a really, really good attempt. I thought for sure it was caught.
I thought it was too. He just fires it downfield. Oh my goodness. I don't know, his foot might not have been in.
It might have just slipped barely out of bounds.
Oh my goodness, that was such a great effort by Strand.
Gorgeous attempt.
And Burancott there. That would have been his first catch of the day too. It would have been a big one.
It would have.
Strand looking to fire one off again here. And that one, I am not sure if they ruled that incomplete or not. The target was Madden Thorson. And nope, that was going to be ruled incomplete. Down to 3rd and 10 here. Another big stop needed for the Wildcats to take things over. Well, not take things over, but to force 4th down.
We're looking for that 4th down so Wildcats have a chance to run even more yards.
Absolutely.
Strand has been attempting all game to make some complete passes, which he has been, but more recently they've been getting out of bounds.
I mean, that one to Burncott was beautiful.
That was a beautiful throw.
Ruled incomplete. Strand downfield again. This one is going to be caught by Carson Elbert. That's the throw he was looking for, Emma, and just like that, the Dragons are within striking distance.
For sure, Austin. They only have a little bit of yards to go before they can get a touchdown. Do you think Strand is really looking for his go-to guy?
I mean, at this point, I'd be looking for Florence. I'd be looking for Burncott. I'd be looking for Perryman, too. We haven't seen him a lot. And it's going to be Florence again, I believe, this time, and it is. So, you know, like you said, they were a dynamic duo last year, and seems to be the case again this season, Emma.
Agreed, Austin.
So with 8 minutes rolling off the clock here in the 2nd quarter, Wildcats trying to defend their end of the field. 20 on the play clock. Strand, he's going to look to pass once more. He finds Florence once again.
They are yards away from getting their first touchdown of the game.
Again, you got to credit that to that Wildcat defense for really holding up strong here throughout the first half. As we hit 7:30 on the game clock. Go ahead.
They are allowing very little airtight. They are being more like an airtight defense, not allowing a lot of wiggle room for MSU Moorhead's offense to sneak in.
Absolutely. 15 down on the play clock. Down to 10. Strand looking for somebody. He's going to find a target into the end zone for Minnesota State Moorhead's first touchdown of the day. Madden Thorson on the receiving end.
That was the complete pass that Strand was looking for to get MSU Moorhead's their first touchdown of the game.
Now Minnesota State Moorhead trying to breathe some life back into this game for themselves here. 21-6. And it looks like they are going to go for the 2-point conversion here. Not a bad idea. Something they kind of, have to do here. And no, they're going to fake it. It's actually going to come up to an extra point here. And it's going to be fake. It's Strand. Or no, it's not. It's number 16, Grant Workenthine, who's the other quarterback, and he's going to be in for the fake on the 2-point conversion. What a great play by the Dragons. Emma, that's something they had to do.
They had to attempt another chance for a touchdown or any sort of points.
So, this will bring this game to 21-8. That was a phenomenal trick play there by Minnesota State Moorhead, and that's going to definitely, give them the kick that they needed here going into halftime.
Going into halftime, both teams.
The 2-point conversion was good.
And the referee confirming that 2-point conversion was good. Let's take another look at this. You can see the fake by the kicker there for Minnesota State Moorhead as Max Watson faked that kick there, and Emma pitched it to Grant Workenthine, one of the quarterbacks for this team. Talk a little bit about the communication and the process there to get that play off.
That was a unique trick play that I've ever seen. I truly didn't think they were actually going for the kick.
It kind of fooled me for a little bit because they faked like they were going to go for it. Then they set up for the kick, and then the obvious fake.
So it was essentially a double trick play.
Right. And Noah Dauber on the receiving end for the kickoff. There's a penalty marker down on the field. We will see what the flag was for. Nice run there, though, by Daubert.
Holding. Penalty from the spot on foul. First down.
So the returning team is Northern Michigan, and they'll be on the receiving end of the penalty here, so they're going to back it up a little bit, unfortunately. So they got a long way to go down the field now here, Emma.
They do. However, with the strides that they have been making, I will not be surprised if they are able to make it up fairly quickly, even though we only have 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
So the Wildcats, 10 seconds on the play clock. It's going to be ball's loose, fumble. Who's got it? And we're going to see, and it is recovered by Minnesota State Moorhead. Not the start you wanted here, going towards the end of the first half. That is going to be huge for the Dragons. Let's take another look here. Emma, go ahead and break this down. You can see, pitches it off, trying to get it over. It was Austin Riddle trying to get that over to Tucker Welch.
Welch attempted, but it looked like it hit off his helmet.
Yeah, it looked like it. And I don't know how it happened there, or if he just kind of went a little too high with pitching that off. Nonetheless, Strand is going to come back out and command the Dragons offense. Finds a target there for number 26 of the Dragons, and that would be Tyson Brandt out of Brookings, South Dakota, as he inches this team closer to the end zone.
They are getting closer and closer. I feel like Strand is finally able to start making the connections that he has been wanting all game.
And you can see it. There's one of them right there. Ooh, doesn't get much closer than that. So 2 inches here for the Dragons, or 2nd in inches, I should say. Strand finds Florence in the end zone. It's a Dragon touchdown. And Emma, just like that, Minnesota State Moorhead has climbed right back into this.
Like we said earlier, Strand and Florence seem to be the dynamic duo on MSU Moorhead. I would love to see a lot of MSU Moorhead's defense within the next few quarters and see how strong they are holding up, because they were really strong last season.
So Max Watson comes back out to the field. Let's see if he is going to kick an extra point this time, or if the Dragons will try to go for another fake. And as I suspected, just going to play it safe and take the extra point, bringing this to 21-15 NMU.
It is a closer game now, but it is anyone's game also at this point with 2 full quarters left to go.
Absolutely right about that. And, you know, if you're the Wildcats, you can't let this deflate anything. You know, you can't let it take the wind out of your sails. If you're Minnesota State Moorhead, on the other hand, you don't want to get too cocky with this. You know, you are within, a couple of points here. However, you're still trailing a little bit, so you don't want to get too cocky, and you want to make sure you can keep your emotions in check. I think that's the big thing for both of these teams right now.
I do agree. I feel like they need to both keep their heads not too off and be like, oh, we have this in the bag, when it could be anyone's game.
Absolutely. It's still anyone's ball game here. 6:09 left to go here in the first half here on the campus of Northern Michigan University beside the Superior Dome. Wildcats have a chance to strike back here and try to build some more momentum as we get closer to halftime here. And it's going to be Sebastian Amuro too that's going to be kicking us off here. We have Jahee Wood and Noah Daubert in the backfield, ready to receive for the Wildcats.
Looks like
Daubert has it, and he's going to take off. Still up on his feet. He's going to get it out to about the 20-ish yard line there. 6:04 on the clock. Wildcats are going to have to march this one down the field, Emma.
Right, Austin, but Dober was able to make another great catch and get the Wildcats off to a starting lead.
Absolutely correct about that. Dauber, as you can see, was pretty much the target of every Dragon on the field there.
Every Dragon knew where he was.
And they have throughout the entire game. Same with Jahi Wood, who you see right there on your screen. Right behind Austin Riddle. Hands it off. Riddle takes the handoff. He's going to take off by himself, and he's going to run this one out to the 40-yard line, run it out of bounds for another Wildcat first down.
Riddle did have enough advantage to get the yards. I did think he was going to pass with the position that he was in.
And a couple of great blocks thrown in there. Take another look at it here. As you said, Emma, with this nice positioning here, there's the fake. Has enough a couple great blocks there. Runs it out of bounds for the first down. 5:30 and counting on this play clock here. Or pardon me, on the game clock. But now we're down to 5 seconds on the game clock. The Wildcats have to get this off in time. We're down to 2. Gets it off just in the nick of time. It's Riddle. He's running down the field again. He's still on his feet. What a great run there by Austin Riddle for another Wildcat first down.
Riddle took off and went.
Absolutely. You know, just absolutely took off there. And like I said, he got it off just in the nick of time, and he made it count, as you can see here.
I think we were all afraid that there wasn't going to be a play for a minute. Riddle just wanted to keep us on our toes.
I was just going to say, they do like to make it interesting once in a while. So here we go. It looks like a timeout is going to be called here. So Northern Michigan takes a timeout here. It'll be their first timeout of the half. As we all know, everyone gets 3. It leaves Minnesota State Moorhead with 3 timeouts left and Northern with 2. Do you like the strategy by Coach Richardson here, Emma?
I do have to say that his strategy is unique coming into the first game of the season, but it is benefiting Northern fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, taking a timeout here, you got the ball in your hands. You have a chance to go down and score once again before, the end of this first half. I do like this, taking this timeout here. Just kind of settling the guys down a little bit and just kind of saying, hey, we know the position we're in, but let's settle it down a little bit, take care of the ball, and get that down back to the end zone again.
Exactly. We've been seeing a lot of great connections on both sides, and that timeout did seem to help.
For sure, especially in a back and forth game like this one has been so far. So 4:37 on the clock, 20 rolling off the play clock. It's going to be Riddle once again. He's going to fake another handoff. He's still up on his feet. Looked like he was going to try to get that to Jahi Wood.
You mentioned earlier that Riddle likes to run compared to
Duke Chavold, yes.
Yeah, he likes to do more running compared to our Duke, who likes to do a lot more passing and has the ball in the air more often.
Absolutely, and you can see it right here. I mean, Riddle, kind of, you think he's a running back. He doesn't throw a lot, but it's very beneficial to this Wildcat run game. That's how their offense works. This time it's to Noah Daubert. Nice read there by that Dragon defense to pick up on that. This will bring up third down. But yeah, as you said, Emma, not that Chavold doesn't run. He does contribute to that Wildcat run game, but there's those few pitches or handoffs or just kind of saucing it over to somebody that you don't see a lot from Austin Riddle. But when you have Daubert and you have Wood doing the brunt of the work for the running back, it's nice to have Riddle come in there and kind of pick up some of that, some of the work.
It is.
Riddle once more. This one pitched off to Wood. He's still up on his feet, runs out of bounds. And it's a nice run there by Wood. Not quite enough for a first down. This will actually be 4th and 1 here. So you got to wonder, Emma, I mean, they're that close. Let's take another look here, see how close he gets. And it looks like the referees in the chain gang are going to change the decision. That is a Wildcat first down, and you'll see it right here on this replay. If you can see, he gets in, out of bounds, stays up on his feet. Great athleticism there by Wood.
Oh, for sure. He has been a standout player in today's game.
Riddle, snap under center, hands this one off. I believe that was Daubert he handed it off to. I'm going to look through the pile here. And that was actually not Daubert. It's been Daubert and Wood all day long. That was actually Nico Lukarainen on the run there for NMU.
Nico is a unique player for sure, but it is nice to also see that he's getting some time with the ball as well.
2nd and 4 here for the Wildcats within striking distance to try to add on to the lead. 10 seconds on the play clock. Riddle with a snap under center, hands it off to Wood. Nice read there by the Dragons defense.
The Dragons defense has definitely been watching out for both Wood and Daubert. They know who to go against.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
And we have reached the 2-minute timeout here. And take another look at this, Emma.
We see a lot of MSU Moorhead going after Wood, looking for some way to stop him from getting into the end zone again.
Absolutely. You know, the score doesn't really, I don't think it really reflects it. This defense for Minnesota State Moorhead has been pretty good so far here today. Like you said, especially reading that run game with, you know, Jahee Wood and Noah Daubert.
For sure.
So 1:54 on the clock here. NMU with a 21-15 lead here as we approach the halftime. Let's just kind of recap this. The Wildcats came out, scored 3 straight touchdowns, 21-0, and then turn around, a fumble by Austin Riddle as he was pitching it off to another Wildcat. Goes in favor of the Minnesota State Moorhead Dragons. They pick it up, bring it to the end zone. A fake extra point play gets Moorhead to 15, where they're at right now. It's definitely been back and forth, but I mean, Emma, for that first half of the first quarter, it was all Wildcats.
It was all Wildcats, and it has been a very back and forth game.
So Riddle, once more, we've seen him and Duke Chavold here today. It's been more Riddle than it has been Chavold. Hands this off, trying to see who's at the bottom of the pile there. It was actually Lukarainen. And you know, I think we're going to see more of him now mixed in to kind of help out with the brunt of the work with Jahee Wood and Noah Daubert.
Those 3 players will be some of your main contacts when it comes to football.
Absolutely. Nice fake there by the Wildcats.
The Wildcats do like their trick plays this year.
We've seen it a lot from the Dragons as well, as opposed to the fake extra point they had. They've run a couple of fake routes as well. It's going to be pitched off once more. I believe that was again to Lukarainen. We have a timeout on the field.
Timeout, Moorhead. Their second charge timeout of the first half. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 17 seconds. 1-1-7.
So that will be Moorhead's second timeout. I guess there was one we missed earlier in the game. So that leaves the timeouts to NMU 2 and Moorhead 1. Actually, no, I stand corrected. So that last timeout that was taken was actually by Moorhead. NMU has not taken one. So Northern has all 3 of their timeouts. Minnesota State Moorhead has 1 left here in the first half. You know, Emma, I like it. If I'm Moorhead, I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, your back's against the wall here. You're down 21-15. This defense needs a really big stop to gain some momentum going into the half.
Going into the half, I feel like we're going to see a lot more back and forth like we have all game. But it is still such a close game that it can be anyone's game. We could completely see the script flip.
And, you know, I think I like the coaching staff taking a timeout there for Moorhead. They kind of needed it. They're getting gassed a little bit, but you're getting towards the end of the road here in this first half. Like I said, at this point, it's all about who can take the momentum, especially in such a close game like this.
We're 2nd and 2 going in.
And the Wildcats trying to make a run for it there. It's Noah Daubert that tried to get into the end zone there. You can tell he was a little frustrated. He was going straight towards the end zone. Looked like he kind of tripped up on the turf a little bit. You can see he was kind of slamming his hand.
It did look like he was attempting, but
let's take another look here. Yeah, you can see he kind of trips up on himself or something there. He's a little frustrated about it. Get another try here.
I'm out of the half. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 14 seconds. 1-1-4.
So another timeout taken here by Minnesota State Moorhead. Their final timeout of the half. Might as well just burn it at this point, right?
Exactly. There's only 1 minute and 14 left in this half.
Can't say I don't blame them here. Again, backs against the wall. 21-15. You want your defense to get a very big stop. As for NMU, it's a little frustrating, but you have more time to come up with these plays to try to get into the end zone and, kind of try to take a bit of a stranglehold on this game going into the half.
Right. They are trying their hardest to get any final defensive pushes before we break for half.
Absolutely right on about that, Emma. A little back and forth action here as the Superior Dome is starting to come to life. 3rd and 2. Riddle with the ball. Hands it off to Daubert. They're pushing. Another great stop there for the Dragons as this brings up 4th down from the Wildcats. Going to be an interesting decision.
It will be an interesting decision with with a minute left on the clock now.
And it looks like they're going to go for it. Great idea here. I wonder if the Wildcats will call a timeout here. Riddle looking over to the sideline, wanting to make sure he gets this right with 13 on the play clock, winding down to 10. We are down to 5 on the play clock. I'm not sure, and it looks like Shane Richardson is going to call a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock.
Timeout, Northern Michigan. This is the first charge timeout.
So, great idea there by Coach Richardson to just kind of calm the guys down a little bit. 4th and literal inches, and Northern's going to take their first timeout of the half, 2 remaining. Moorhead has none left. So Richardson going to calm the guys down a little bit. Maybe, him and the offensive coordinator going to come up with something to try to get this team into the end zone before the end of the half. Or at this point, Emma, with only 2 timeouts left, they might just take the field goal, call it good.
Right. We only have 27 seconds left in, so it does make sense that they called a timeout just to kind of figure out, because they are in 4th and inches.
Yeah, absolutely. And 25 seconds on the play clock, 27 seconds on the game clock. You got to think they're just going to run this out, kick the field goal, and not take any risks going into the half. I like it.
I like it too.
So here we go once more. Let's see if the Dragons making sure they don't want to have too many men on the field. Let's see what the Wildcats do here. They're going to take the gamble. Pushed in for the touchdown. Another Wildcat touchdown.
Did you happen to see who got the touchdown?
It would be Nico Lukarainen on the receiving end, running that one in for the Wildcats. And we're going to see Michael Carlin come back out and try to make this a 28-15 ball game for the Wildcats.
Timeout, Northern Michigan. Second charge timeout of the half.
So this will be NMU's second charged timeout with 23 seconds left on the game clock. One start. I wonder, Emma, if they'll draw something up here or if they're just trying to burn timeouts.
They might try to burn timeouts going in. And I did think they were going to go straight for that field goal attempt.
Well, not the field goal. I was kind of surprised that on 4th and inches, they kind of took that gamble, which, it shouldn't surprise me too much. You're right there in the end zone. You kind of need the points. But I was also wondering, like I said, with that timeout that they took, if they were just going to run the clock down and have Carlin go out and kick a field goal.
They have either option
you're right.
Right
they had either option. And you're right, they have either option now. They can either take the extra point here or they can go for 2 off the fake. We'll see what happens here. And it looks like, Emma, they are going to go for 2. Carlin is not out there.
Carlin has a great game.
Here we go. It's Duke Chavold looking towards the end zone, and he will be incomplete. Nice defense there by the Moorhead Dragons to thwart the 2-point conversion effort.
It was a good attempt on their part, wanting to get a 2-point conversion, but it looked like
nobody was home there. Looked like the intended target for Chavold there was Cooper Lepage, who actually came over from the MSU basketball team this year. You gotta love the dual sport athlete, right?
We gotta love our Wildcats being able to do more than one sport, especially at the collegiate level.
You're not kidding. Yeah, absolutely. Belongs to football now, was formerly on the MSU basketball team. But, like you said, Emma, I can't say any better myself. It's phenomenal, when you get to high school, obviously you play different sports. At the collegiate level, it's impressive. It really is. It's not something you see much of these days. You definitely don't see it at all, or very often at least, in professional sports. In college, it's kind of the same way.
Looks like they are setting up for kickoff.
Yep, it is going to be Michael Carlin. We've said his name a lot today. He's been pretty busy with the the extra point attempts and the kickoffs here.
Carlin has had a great day, though, kicking-wise.
Absolutely. And he's going to send this one into the Minnesota State Moorhead backfield. And they're going to run it with 20 seconds rolling off the clock. Still up on his feet. What a great run there by the Dragons. Tim Shannon Jr. will be awarded with the tackle for the Wildcats, even though it took a couple of them to take down the runner for Minnesota State Moorhead. Take another look at it here. A couple of great blocks, too. I mean, look at that.
They are being very strong. With only 16 seconds left in this half, it is really up to Moorhead's defense.
Well, it's really up to Moorhead's offense now, and we're going to see it in action as Jack Strand finds his target. And number 26, I believe that is there, which would be Tyson Brandt, and it was. Running backs aren't usually wide receivers. In that case, Brandt was. Nice reception there by Brandt to try to march it down the field. 6 seconds on the clock. The Dragons are trying to hurry up and go here, and they're just going to ground it, and we're going to take this into the half. Or no, we're not.
2 seconds left on the play clock.
2 seconds left on the clock. There's a quick round there by the Dragons. Looks like they're going to try for one last blast here before the half here, Emma.
They are getting so close. It looks like Strand wants to attempt any form of pass.
Strand, with 0 on the clock, fires one way downfield, and it is incomplete. What an absolute rocket by Strand, and you can see the Wildcats saying, not today.
Wildcats saw that and were like, nope.
An absolutely momentous, explosive first half of the 2025, start to the 2025 season for the Wildcats. I mean, look at that. Strand just had to chuck it up and find somebody down there. What an absolutely amazing block by that Wildcat defense. And you can see right there saying, no, not today. We will be back shortly Don't go anywhere, folks. Wildcats up 27-15 at the half here in the Superior Dome. I'm Austin Graham.
I'm Emma Moratz.
Stick around.
Okay, fans, it's now time for musical chairs. I hope fans will have the chance to play the game of classical musical chairs on the ice with a $15 Starbucks gift card. Rules are simple. The music's not assigned to seat for the last night's stake. It's eliminated if we have a winner. No pushing or shoving or moving of chairs is allowed. Are we ready? Let the music play.
What's up, y'all? I'm Jamie Price. It's Michael Jackson's.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second half here in the Superior Dome of Wildcat football. And Emma, what an exciting first half it was. More on that here in a second as the Dragons of Minnesota State Moorhead take off running. Emma, what a first half this was.
Oh, for sure. We had 3 straight NMU touchdowns, which was fresh out of the gate. MSU Moorhead pulling up behind just a little bit, inching their way. This came down to the second in that first half.
And you're absolutely not wrong about that. 3 straight NMU touchdowns, followed up by 2 Minnesota State Moorhead touchdowns, and plus the fake play, trick play that got them that 2-point conversion, and then the Wildcats ended off that first half with another touchdown. Very back and forth for sure, but it's been all Wildcats here. And here we go, Jack Strand. He's trying to go up the field with the ball. I wasn't sure if he was going to pass there or not.
I don't know if he was sure either.
Was able to get him out, get himself out of trouble there and move it up the field. But Emma, I mean, you know, I can't stress it enough. But here we go once more. I mean, you can see Strand looking, gets himself out of trouble, kind of takes off, and is like, I got to run this.
We noticed that the Dragons did like to have the ball in the air, and the Wildcats like to pass it around a lot more.
And here we go, Strand. He's in trouble and he's brought down. And Emma, I can't stress how well this Wildcat defense has played here today, and I don't think you can either.
I don't think I can. This was a very smooth engine this year coming into the first game. They have been running like a well-oiled machine.
Oh, for sure. And you can see it right here, you know, Strand scrambling, not sure where to go. And he's, you know, scooped up there by a couple of Wildcats. But yeah, very back and forth game here. It, you know, kind of feels like that momentum is going in Northern's favor. But, you know, 27-15, still a lot of football left to play here.
For sure. Austin Strand going in there. Looks like a completed pass.
Yeah, I wasn't sure at first either. The referees are going to rule it complete. That's a Dragon first down. It was a really nice reception there by Carson Albert. We've said his name a couple times here today, Emma. And here we go again. You can see, just looking at it, great athleticism there by Albert to keep that up. And referees have stopped the play here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. The umpire there looks like he's writing something down or maybe doing something.
We will find out here in a second.
And he's going to run over to the white hat, the referee. Making sure everything's in place. Not sure what happened there.
Defense number 6. 15 yards added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So, a penalty assessed to NMU, and not what you want to see here. It's going to move the Dragons down the field quite a bit too, Emma. This is going to be 1st and 10 from the NMU 31.
That is interesting to think, but it does give MSU Moorhead a little bit more time to try and get more yardage.
You're not wrong about that. 7 on the play clock. Strand looking for somebody, finds a target, this time, and number 11, Madden Thorson, another receiver we've talked a little bit about here today. His main targets, though, have been Gage Florence, and that's pretty much been it.
Yep.
You can talk about that a little bit if you'd like to there.
It does seem that Jack Strand has his key guys that he always likes to target.
Thorson. Yep.
Thorson has been one of those besides Florence, but him and Florence like to play a lot of good ball.
Here we go. Strand takes off again. He couldn't find anybody. Nice play there. Just kind of run it out. And I believe you can see Strand was pointing towards the first down, and the referees, Shane Gain, gonna give it to him. He tried to look like he was looking for a target there. I mean, check this out right here, Emma. You could see he, you know, was looking for a target. They were all covered. Had to take off by himself there.
This is the 3rd time within the past few minutes that Strand has had to take off on his own.
And, you know, we didn't see a lot of that in the first half. You know, like we said, he likes to fly this ball through the air. It looks like he's going to do it again. Downfield, into the end zone. Touchdown, Dragons. And just like that, they're back into this one. Gage Florence on the reception.
Like we said, that Strand and Florence like to play a nice ball game, and that was clearly shown when Florence got that recent touchdown.
Left wide open there in the end zone. This brings the score to 27-21. NMU still in the lead for now. Might want to watch this fake. The Dragons might do it as Max, here we go, Max Watson sends this one up and in for the extra point, 27-22. And just like that, Emma, the Dragons are starting to knock on the door a little bit.
Right, but we are just starting this second half, so it still is anybody's game.
And you know, it's funny, you know, Northern started the first half explosive, right? And now you got the Dragons coming out and doing the exact same thing here in this second half. You know, don't want to get back on your heels a little too much here if you're NMU. You know, you're still in the lead, and you know, we've talked about it a lot throughout this game here, Emma. You know, you don't want to, you know, get down on yourself or anything.
It's a very tough matchup for first game of the season, but also a great game that we've seen on both sides.
Absolutely. You know, we've talked about that a lot too on this broadcast here tonight. How back and forth this has been for both these squads. You know, we talked about this in the intro when we came up on air here tonight. You know, this Minnesota State Moorhead team, 6-5 in 2024. You know, a lot to build on coming into this year. A very scrappy team last year. Lots have come from behind wins, and this year, trying to pick up where they left off. We boot this one downfield to High Wood in the backfield, along with Noah Daubert. And they're going to let this one go into the end zone, bring this up to the 25-yard line. And you can talk a little bit about, you know, this Northern team too and how hungry they've been leading up to this game here tonight.
Coach Richardson has said every year that he's been head coach, because he's been head coach for the past 3, that they've just been hungry for a win. And this team is willing to put in the effort that it takes to get what is a winning team. And we've seen that today. Not to say anything too early in this game.
Absolutely, no, you're right about that. And, you know, Coach Richardson had also mentioned, you know, it's not just about a game, it's about, you know, having a good season as well. As Austin Riddle fakes the handoff and takes off down the field. Riddle's still up on his feet. And nice run there by Austin Riddle. That'll move the chains for a Wildcat first down.
That is what we need going into this third quarter. They're trying to get back their momentum that they sadly lost a little bit, but they are willing and ready to fight.
You can see it once more here. Riddle just taking off. Has contributed a lot, you know, as the quarterback of the team today, has contributed a lot to this running game alongside Noah Daubert and Jahai Wood. And Riddle going to be scooped up there. Nice read by the Dragon defense to bring up second down.
We mentioned Wood and Daubert a lot today as they are two strong players on the offense, but we also have mentioned Riddle. He has been doing a lot of rushing yards.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen Duke Chevald get a couple snaps in here as quarterback for the Wildcats here today, and Nico Lukarainen too. Who scored one of the touchdowns here today. Actually, the most recent NMU touchdown. We've seen him get a couple touches today as well.
I love how they're all like passing. There goes Riddle again.
Yep. He's brought down once more. Bring up first down once more for the Wildcats.
Every yard counts with this game.
You know, I can only think back to the press conference the other day that Coach Richardson had leading up into tonight's game. You know, I had asked, you know, if this is, you know, if you take each game, you just chip away at, you know, each play at a time. And honestly, I feel like it's a really good way to describe this Wildcat run game. You just have to chip away and take your time and, you know, take it one play at a time, one drive at a time.
We noticed that a lot in the first half, and we're noticing this a lot going into this first few minutes of our second half as well.
Riddle takes off once more. Looks like he was going to try to hand off and faked it. Maybe his third or fourth straight run there for the Wildcats. It's going to be 2nd and 4 for NMU as they keep marching down the field. Take another look at it here. As you can see, it looked like he was going to maybe pitch it to Jahai Wood. Eventually just decided to run it out himself. 9 minutes rolling off the clock here in this third quarter. Down to 10 on the play clock. Riddle takes off once more. Looked like he's going to, oh no, it's a fumble. Who's it recovered by? The Dragons think they have it. We'll see here. And the referees are going to give it to the Dragons. Riddle was a little indecisive on how he wanted to pitch that ball, and it cost him. The Dragons take over.
They were, if you watch the replay, you just see a flood of white over where Riddle was.
And it looked like he was going to try to, drop that back to Noah Dauber, and he wasn't able to do it in time. And he kind of looked like, in that last second there, looked like he was indecisive in what he wanted to do. And like you said, he saw, a sea of white jerseys there, and the Dragons are going to take over and have a chance to go downfield and take their first lead of the game. Strand fires a bullet there towards his favorite target, or one of his favorite targets here, in Brady Perryman. We have not seen him alive here today, Emma, which has kind of surprised me a little bit, considering Division II collegefootball.com actually named him as part of the one of the top 100 players in Division II to watch this year, and Strand is on that list as well. And here we go. Strand fires this one way downfield, and it's going to be incomplete. The intended target there was Madden Thorson. Great coverage by the Wildcat corners.
That was for sure, and that was a gorgeous throw. Sadly, it was incomplete.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, but great coverage there by Xavier Martinez and Tim Shannon Jr. to be on the coverage for that for the Wildcats. But yeah, we talked about Strand and Perryman being on that top 100 watch list by Division II collegefootball.com. And, Strand has really shown out today. Like we said, we haven't seen a lot of Perryman, but it hasn't been much of a problem, as you mentioned earlier, the dynamic duo between Florence and Strand. Here we go. Fires another one, this time towards Florence. Speak of the devil, right?
Right. We just love when we say a player and then it automatically happens.
For sure. And like you said, to his credit, Florence has really picked up a lot of the brunt of the work here today that I was kind of expecting Perryman to take on.
I was expecting a little bit more of Perryman too, but it has been a fun and unique game.
Strand looking to pass, finds another target downfield in Florence. Nice route there, and it's going to be good enough for another Minnesota State Moorhead first down.
Moorhead is getting those yards that they lost in the first half. They're trying to make it up now, but Northern is holding strong.
Wildcats on their heels a little bit here. 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter, 20 on the play clock. Strand gets the snap. He's just going to kind of lob this one to Tyson Grant, the running back.
You just saw a sea of green there stopping him.
You got to see they kind of read that little floater that Strand gave over to Brandt. Almost looked like a basketball floater.
It did.
I don't know. Just kind of. No, not really. I'm just kidding. But yeah, just kind of lobbed that one up there to Brandt. Like you said, a little sea of green there. Wildcats getting on that one. 2nd and 7. 10 rolling off the play clock. Strand fires another one. This one to Florence. What a great hit there. My goodness.
That was a gorgeous hit, but also a gorgeous catch by Florence.
What an absolutely devastating hit. Check this out, Emma. A nice catch and a great read there. My goodness. Jahai Wood actually on that hit there. My goodness. 3rd and 7. The Wildcats need a big stop here. Fans coming to their feet, trying to make some noise here in the Superior Dome. 5 on the play clock. Strand looks downfield, finds a target. It is Gage Florence in the end zone for a Dragon touchdown.
We've had a lot of Strand Florence connections tonight, and Florence just getting another touchdown.
Minnesota State Moorhead takes their very first lead of the evening, a 1-point lead, 28-27.
We still have a lot of game to go, but it is the first time MSU Moorhead has taken the lead.
And a flag on the play before that kick was good. Or ruled good, I should say. Going to see who the flag was thrown at. White hat trying to figure it out. Going over to the Minnesota State coaching staff. Going to talk to them. I'm going to assume that it was on Northern, and they'll just be declined and they'll take the point. We'll see.
Illegal formation on the defense, lining up over the center. Half the distance to the goal, we'll retry.
So they'll retry for the extra point here. Minnesota State Moorhead going to try to make this a 29-27 lead. You don't want to be too concerned here if you're NMU, Emma. I mean, it's still a very close game. Momentum definitely going in favor of Minnesota State Moorhead right now, but as you said earlier, still a lot more football to play here.
It's also been a big back and forth game, Austin, like we saw all first half. It will be a all back and forth game, I would assume, the rest of it.
And that's a great point, and it looks like this retry is actually going to be a 2-point conversion attempt here, as we see Jack Strand is back out on the field for the Dragons. Strand looking for a target, finds one into the end zone, and it is going to be Tyson Brandt that picks up the additional 2 points for the Dragons, making this a 30-27 game. The Dragons are in the lead.
Like you said, Austin, don't be too concerned if you're a Northern fan. It is still anybody's game.
Absolutely. Momentum definitely starting to shift a little bit here into Moorhead's favor, but to your point, we talked about how Northern started this game. It just came right out of the gates, and now we're seeing that with Moorhead here in the second half. Definitely a big back and forth game here, but the Wildcats need to do something crucial on this drive here to kind of keep themselves in this one. So Isaac Olson and Jahai Wood in the backfield this time for the Wildcats, getting ready to receive from the Dragons. It'll be Sebastian Moratruk ready to send this one down the field. Interesting, Isaac Olson out there. We've seen Noah Daubert take a lot of these, kickoff returns. It's going to go straight. I don't think it's going to go straight to Olson, but it is going to go out, and the flag on the play. This will probably move this up to the 35-yard line. So not a terrible spot to start if you're NMU.
Free kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Northern's taking the ball at the 35-yard line, first down.
So a little bit of luck there, Emma. Northern taking this out to the 35-yard line in their own half of the field, but they've got to do something here to march this down the field.
They need to start building those yards that they need to just recover before it bites them.
It's going to be Riddle handing this one off to Noah Daubert. Yes, that was Daubert on the carry there for the Wildcats. Him and Wood been the go-to running backs here tonight. We've yet to see any passing here from NMU. Down to 5 minutes here on the clock in the third quarter. 15 on the play clock. Riddle hands this one off to Jahai Wood. Great read there by that Dragon defense.
Their defense has been strong tonight, and they're trying to hold their lead, but Northern is trying to sneak by and bring up some yards.
Absolutely correct about that. And 4:30 on the clock here now. 20 on the on the play clock. 3rd and 7 from Northern's own 38. With 10 on the play clock. Riddle, this is going to be Duke Chavold looking to pass, maybe. He's going to try to get rid of it, and it's going to be caught by Noah Daubert. My goodness, what athleticism.
Daubert is one of the stars on the team. We've mentioned that in previous times, but Daubert is definitely a player to keep watching.
Absolutely. And you can see right there a one-handed snag, and he took the hit. Somehow still held onto the ball. My goodness. That'll light a fire on the sideline there. That was a tremendous catch.
You mentioned beginning of the game that this is the first time that MSU Moorhead and NMU have faced off, and it has been an explosive game against these two, so I would love to see more of them.
It sure has, and I've mentioned it a couple times now, but I mean the matchup between these two teams have been it's been very entertaining.
Time out for an injured player.
An injured player down on the field. It'll be Cody Sorensen, the defensive back out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Looked like he is clutching his arm a little bit there. He's up and running off the field. Probably going to go get checked out by the medical team. But you're correct about that. This has been one heck of an entertaining game between these two squads. As you mentioned, the very first time that these two squads have ever matched up in football before. They have played each other in basketball, men's basketball that is. And this is the first time these two teams have ever played each other in football. Fumble by Jahai Wood. It's going to be recovered by the Dragons. It's recovered by the Dragons, number 13, Gavin Tarto, the defensive back out of Cumberland, Wisconsin. Wood couldn't hang on to the ball off the handoff from Austin Riddle. We'll take another look at this here, Emma.
It just slipped out of his hands, but was recovered pretty smoothly until it went out of bounds.
I can't tell if Wood, if he lost control of the ball or if there was somebody behind him there that may have punched that ball out.
That could be either option.
Nonetheless, Dragons take over. A little bounce of bad luck there for the Wildcats.
Just a little bit, but we have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this quarter, and we still have another full quarter to go.
You're not wrong about that, and Strand is going to be sacked. I mean, talk about going from a deflating play with the Wood fumble to Jack's hurdle on the very next play, getting in the Strand's grill there and taking him down for the sack.
Hurdle last season was dynamic on the field, and we keep seeing it now in this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, Hurdle, one of the veteran linebackers for this Wildcat squad. And that play showed it there. Here comes Strand. He's looking to fire another bullet downfield, and he finds Carson Elbert for the reception. What a beautiful pass there.
That was a gorgeous connection.
And the Dragons will move the chains once more. Take another look at this. Emma, this is just a beautiful play.
Beautiful.
And a nice read there by the Wildcat defense as Luke Damiani was on the hit there. Kind of just met Carson Elbert right there. Hey, you're going to catch this, but I got you. Down to a minute 40 in the third quarter. Strand scrambling. He's going to have to run it out himself. He's going to go down, and it looked like Jahai Wood, or no, I believe that was Jalen Houston, the linebacker there, who was trying to make the hit as Strand was going down. You can see there, kind of scrambled a little bit, Emma.
Just a little bit. He wasn't sure if there was going to be anybody open, and there sadly wasn't.
A great pressure by that Wildcat defense, too, to kind of force Strand to make a quick decision there.
We've noticed a lot of both sides are forcing their quarterbacks to run.
Minute left in the third quarter, 2nd and 4. 10 rolling off the play clock here for the Dragons. Strand fires one downfield, just overshot Brady Perryman a little bit there. 3rd and 4 for the Dragons as we hit 45 seconds left here in this third quarter.
Definitely been back and forth, but we will be seeing a lot more of both sides going into this final quarter. I have been very entertained by this game, especially because we just had our first full week of classes, and this has been one great way to start it off.
Absolutely, for all the students here at NMU, what better way to kick this off with a rocking crowd here in the Dome, and one heck of an entertaining matchup here. Strand finds another target there, and Carter Burton caught as he was met halfway there by Tim Shannon Jr. on the tackle. This Wildcat defense has been doing very well here, especially reading these these throws by Strand, being able to meet the receivers halfway.
That has been a unique take on it, as well as that the receivers have been very much blocked before they can do very much damage.
Not wrong about that. And it looks like the Dragons are just going to run this out to the end of the third quarter, making this a 30-27 ball game.
That's the end of the third quarter.
So that'll be the end of the third, as the Dragons they have their first lead of the game, 30-27.
Very tight game. We still have another full quarter to go, so it could be anybody's game at this point.
Absolutely right about that, Emma. Stick around, folks, for this exciting conclusion here on Flow Sports. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning into Flow Sports here, this is Austin Graham alongside Emma Maratz for some Wildcat football, and this has been quite the entertaining one as we hit the fourth quarter. Wildcats down 27-30 to Minnesota State Moorhead, and Emma, take it away.
Definitely been a great back and forth game going into this final quarter. We've seen a lot of having quarterbacks rush it. Looks like Jack Strand.
He's trying to find, I'm assuming it was going to be to number 11 and Madden Thorson. Incomplete pass there. But you're absolutely right. It's been an entertaining game. Very back and forth here. And incomplete pass there by Strand. And the Dragons are pretty close to knocking on the door again here as they try to increase their lead that they just recently gained in the third quarter. It was all NMU for the first two. Here we go with Strand. Sends this one, almost intercepted there. And you could tell Xavier Martinez a little frustrated he didn't have that one there, Emma.
He could have had that one if he was just a second closer.
Yeah, a little bit. Take another look at it here. And that would have been the second pick that Strand would have thrown today.
That would have been. one of Strand's picks earlier today ended up leading to a Northern touchdown.
For sure. You know, it was very early on in the first quarter. So, you know, we're in week 0. You're trying to knock that rust off, and Strand has done a phenomenal job since that pick.
The crowd here in the Superior Dome is going crazy for...
Third and 10. Trying to see if the Dragons, they can stop the Dragons for the first down. And...
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 44. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
So the penalty is going to be on Northern Michigan's number 44, Mitch Larkin, who has been impressive here today. Larkin's actually had 9 tackles on the day. Not what you want to see. Take another look there as he just kind of shoved Strand down, and not what you want, especially as we got closer to the end zone for the Dragons.
First and 10 going in. Dragons are looking to get a few more yards so they can potentially score.
So the referees talking amongst themselves here. I'm not sure what the issue is, perchance. We'll figure it out here as they huddle up. Could be potentially talking about if they want on the game clock, see what the head official has to say, if anything here. And we're going to have them roll the clock. Here we go. Not sure what the meeting was about there, but nonetheless, play resumes as Jack Strand towards the end zone. Touchdown, Dragons. And that is going to be Kelly Johnson on the receiving end. And the Dragons
take the lead.
Absolutely, take a 9-point lead here at the very beginning of the fourth quarter.
While it is a 9-point lead, Northern still has enough time to potentially take that lead back.
So here we go once more for the extra point. It'll be up, and it is good, making this a 10-point lead for the Dragons, their biggest lead of the evening. And Emma, you can kind of feel the air kind of getting sucked out of the building a little bit here, but the Wildcats have to do something to try to get back into this.
They need to. They had such a dynamic first quarter, getting 3 straight touchdowns, that they need to just build that momentum back up.
For sure about that. You know, it's unfortunate that that penalty kind of cost, you know, the roughing the passer penalty by Mitch Larkin kind of cost them that touchdown there. Frustration, you know, can get the better of you sometimes, and unfortunately, you had to learn your lesson on that one. But nonetheless, Larkin has been phenomenal for this team here today. 9 tackles total. He's been able to get to Strand a couple of times. Hurdle has the only sack in the half so far for NMU. But you know, Larkin and Hurdle have been phenomenal on the defensive side of the ball here today for NMU.
And it looks like Moorhead is setting up.
Yep, it's going to be Sebastian Amorto, who has been the go-to for these kickoffs here today. Gonna send this one down the field. Jahai Wood and Isaac Olson in the backfield for NMU. And Olson just going to opt to let it bounce back into the end zone, and we will take this one out to the 25-yard line. And Emma, I mean, this could be one of the most crucial drives of the game here for NMU.
Oh, for sure. Now having the play kind of in Northern's court, they are able to hopefully regain those yards that they lost.
So 14-17 on the clock here for this game here. 37-27, NMU gonna have to try to claw, scratch and claw their way back into this one here as the Cats take the field for a crucial drive here in the fourth. It's going to be Duke Chevald with the ball. He has still going, trying to find Isaac Olson, and it's going to be thrown into the Minnesota State Moorhead sideline there.
It looked like he was trying to find Olsen to make a pass. However, he was just unable to be seen.
He was unable to get it there. Great coverage by the Minnesota State Moorhead defense as Chavold tried to pass that one downfield. We've been seeing a lot of Chavold and Riddle. We've been seeing Chavold more for the passing. We've been seeing Riddle more for the running game here for NMU. Chavold gonna pitch this one to Jahi Wood. Nice handoff there, and even better read there by that Minnesota State Moorhead defense as he was brought down, as Wood was brought down there by number 95, Sawyer Rumer. Third and 2, sorry, go ahead.
Like you were saying, this is crucial to gain a 10. MSU Moorhead has a 10-point lead right now. So Northern is looking for any way to regain yards.
You're not wrong about that. Wood again with the ball, and he could be close to a first down. It was 3rd and 2, and they are going to give it to him. It is another Wildcat first down.
That is great on Northern's part to potentially get down the field.
It's a game of inches, as they say, Emma. So Wood stays up on his feet, the pure athleticism that he had to make that play. 15 on the play clock. Chavold looking to pass. Chavold is going to be wrapped up, and I believe he's going to be brought down there for the sack. And
we saw a sea of white.
Yeah, we sure did. The Dragon defense coming up big time there as number 94, Hunter Corbin, out of Mandan, North Dakota, takes down Chavold for a huge sack there. And it'll be for a loss too. It's going to go to 2nd and 15 from the 30-yard line. And the Wildcats are going to need a big shot down the field here.
They need to have one.
Chavold looking to throw.
And
nobody home. A little miscommunication on that route there. This will bring up 3rd down.
Looked like it was trying to go to somebody open, but it was just out of sight.
Yeah, it seemed like the route was some sort of miscommunication. I'm not sure if he was going for Wood, and it looked like he was, and one of the linemen there, it actually looked like that Chris Bornhoff kind of got in the way of Jahi Wood. I'm not really sure what happened there. 12:21 on the clock, 3 and 15 from the 30. Here we go. Chavold looking for a shot downfield. He finds Wood. Wood takes off. Wood is going to have a Wildcat first down as he runs this out of bounds there.
Great connection between both, and Wood was able to gain a lot of yards.
Absolutely. He turned on the jets once he got that pass there from Chavold. You'll see it right here, Emma.
He has been a supersonic tonight.
That's a really good way to put it. Absolutely. You can see right here, Wood gets the ball, I'm out of here. And you can see that Wildcat sideline getting hyped up here. This one's handed off. This time, it's to Noah Daubert. He's still up on his feet, going all the way towards the end zone, moves it down the field. That's another Wildcat first down.
We love how many first downs these Wildcats have been able to connect within the more recent few plays.
Trying to bring this building back to life a little bit here as Noah Daubert and Jahi Wood combined for 2 serious runs there as they march this ball way down the field. And just like that, the Wildcats are within striking distance.
Daubert has been able to plow through Moorhead's defense.
And just as he did again there for another run.
There is no stopping the NMU defense right now.
Timeout for an injured player of the defense.
We have an injured player on the field, and it appears to be number 32, Micah Runian on the defense for the Dragons. Checked out by the staff here. So we'll see how he ends up doing. Seems some sort of leg injury. He is up, or he's not up, but he is getting checked out here by the training staff at Minnesota State Moorhead. Make sure he's all right. Might have cramped up a little bit.
Looks like
He's up and moving around. He's brought off the field. Probably gonna go get checked out. Glad he's okay. So 2nd and 4 from the Minnesota State Moorhead 8-yard line.
like you said, this is a game of inches.
Game of inches, and you know, it only takes a couple plays to just get down the field just like that. We've seen it with Moorhead today. We've seen it with NMU here today as well.
Exactly.
Being able to move it down the field. Here we go. Hand it off. It is Wood with the ball, and he's going to be brought down there by number 45 of the Dragons. It'll be Mitchell Jazierski who brings down Jahai Wood. It'll be 3rd and 3, or 3rd and 4. Actually, I stand corrected. It'll be 3rd and 7. You can see Wood was just kind of slammed down there.
Moorhead's defense is trying to play strong, but Northern's offense is also trying their hardest to find those little air bubbles.
Absolutely. That's kind of how it's been going right now. Lots of good stuff here from the NMU offense and this MSU Moorhead defense. So 4th and 2. You got to go for it here if you're Northern. 4th and 1. I'm sorry. 4th and 1 is what we have here. And this crowd coming to their feet.
15 seconds on the play clock.
The Wildcats need to get something done here. It's to Daubert. And it looks like he may have got that first down, and he sure did. Crucial.
You can tell.
1st and goal here. Go ahead.
You can tell the atmosphere in the dome has completely changed now. It was a little bit of doom and gloom until Northern is now like inches away from a touchdown.
You're not wrong about that, as they try to get back in there, and player helmet came off as that came off the noggin of number 64 Daniel Babcock, the all GLIAC lineman. He's going to have to come out for a play as Chris Bornhoff is going to come back in. 2nd and 1. Wildcats trying to push in for the touchdown. I'm not sure. The ball might have come loose as there was a few Dragon players that were pointing the other way. We're going to see who comes out of the dog pile with this football. And it looks like it's going to remain an NMU possession. There may have been a fumble on the play. I am not sure that there was. A few Dragon players looked to point it out.
Offsides. Defense number 86, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
So a big come up there for the Wildcats, just to give them a boost. As I said, half distance to the goal. 2nd down here, right on the goal line. Let's see what happens here. Northern trying to push. Let's see what happens. No signal yet from the referees. Trying to see who comes out of the dog pile, and it looks like it's another huge stop from Moorhead.
They are really trying to not let Northern pass even on their own goal.
My goodness, what a defensive stand here.
They are so close.
This crowd coming to their feet as the Wildcats are trying to push into the end zone. That's got to be it.
That has
And it's touchdown Wildcats.
That was a great back and forth, like we said. But Northern was like, we're not letting you stop our touchdown.
Unreal. I mean, what a defensive stand from Moorhead, and an even better offensive onslaught there by Northern to literally push into the end zone for the touchdown. 37-33. Carlin sets up here for the kick. I would watch the fake here, but let's see if Coach Richardson just opts to take the points, and he will.
This is a very close game today. 3-point difference.
37-34, definitely a very high-scoring game here, Emma. This has been, an absolute treat. It seriously has been. A 37-34 ball game here. Momentum shifts throughout the entire game now. I mean, we're talking the entire game. There's been times where Northern's had a boost of offense, as you'll see right here in this replay. And there's been times where, Moorhead has had those boosts as well. The defense have been, pretty complimentary, although it's been pretty high scoring. But there's been a lot of back and forth here today, as you mentioned.
This has been an enjoyable first week of football for both teams, and will be a game for a lot of good players. We keep mentioning Jahai Wood and Noah Dober. Those are two to keep watch the entire season.
I would have to agree. I mean, they have been influential here today. They were huge last season. You mentioned Dober and his involvement with the spring game. I mean, it was a surprise. I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal in the spring game. It's no surprise from watching that how great he's been here tonight. And Carlin sends that one into the end zone. The Dragons will take this out from the 25-yard line.
Looks like we're going to keep having that back and forth game with only a 3-point difference. This is really anyone's game with 8:18 left to go.
Yeah, still a lot of time on the clock here. Two very hungry teams trying to find, put a win in their column and try to kick this season off the right way. The Dragons trying to pick up where they left off from last year, and the Wildcats hungry for a win, hungry to start the season off right here at home. Strand fires one to his favorite target here tonight, Gage Florence.
We've noticed a lot of connections between Strand and Florence, and we can understand why they're such a dynamic duo tonight.
Absolutely. See it once more here. And the way Strand has been able to see the field here tonight, whenever there's been pressure from that Wildcat defense, he's been able to get himself out of these sticky situations. And as we mentioned multiple times throughout this broadcast, he likes to sling that football.
He likes to.
Strand
Looking to connect.
and he finds a target in Madden Thorson. He'll be brought down by Tim Shannon Jr. And the Dragons are going to move the chains.
Both teams are still trying to figure out whose ball game it is, but Strand has also been trying to make a lot more of connections that he did compared to the first quarter. First half.
Yeah, absolutely. A pretty evenly matched game here, as you'll see. Nice wrap up there by Tim Shannon Jr. to just shake off Madden Thorson. 15 seconds remaining on the game clock. Or pardon me, not the game clock, the play clock. We're down to 10. Down to 7. Strand opts to hand this one off this time, and it's going to go into the arms of Tyson Brandt. He has been their main target for a lot of the running game here tonight.
He does seem to be the one that they need when they have to charge through the enemy defense.
You know, it's interesting. We haven't seen a lot of the Wildcat receivers get a lot of touches here tonight, and we'll see this nice run here again from Brandt. And it's interesting, we haven't seen Brandt really touch the ball a lot either since he's a running back. It really is the contrast of two totally different offenses.
But that is the thing that makes this game unique, is that they're two completely different offenses, so we don't know what's going to happen next.
Very, very good point. Very good point. It's kept our defense on our toes for sure.
Strand.
And Strand back to Florence. My goodness, what great athleticism. I mean, it really has been the tale of two great athleticism between Florence and Wood here tonight. I mean, the way they've been able to stay up on their feet after getting some of these, wonky plays here.
Strand and Florence have been able to make so many good connections this time. I wonder how they're going to be all season.
Yeah, that's another great point as well. We've talked about that a lot. Strand and Florence making a lot of great connections, and Florence isn't just one of the great receivers on this team. We've mentioned Carson Albert save a couple times tonight, Brady Perryman, a lot of great offensive weapons for this Dragon team here. And it's going to be another handoff here to Tyson Brandt. He's taken off, Nice run there. I don't think it'll be enough for a first down, but it is very close.
It might not be.
Very close. Yep, it is a second. It'll be second down here for the Dragons. Second and third, or second and 3, I should say, on the 41-yard line. 5 minutes about to roll off the clock here in this game. 37-34. Very high-scoring game here, Emma. Very evenly matched for the most part as well.
Great way to start off the season.
So here we go once more. Strand fires this one downfield, finds a target, and it is going to be incomplete. No flags on the play. Great coverage by the Wildcats.
Great coverage for sure. I thought it was going to be an interception for a second.
It looked pretty close to it. Shannon looked like he might have had a good look at it. Let's take another look at this here on this replay. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, it looked like he could have had something on it. Could have been a holding penalty there, maybe. Nonetheless, it is going to be 3rd and 3 for the Dragons. You can hear this crowd starting to come alive a little bit. The Wildcats need a huge stop here.
Their defense needs to be extra strong.
Jack Strand hands this off to Brant, and the Dragons are going to get a first down.
That is not what we really need to see for NMU, but NMU needs to hold strong with their defense like we have kind of seen all game.
I kind of like this strategy here by Moorhead. Take another look at this here as Brant gets this ball, bullies his way through Jack's hurdle there, or brought him down. But you know, now they're starting to do this run game, and I don't blame them. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You don't want to throw an interception.
Exactly. You don't want to throw any interceptions and give Northern a chance to get another score.
And it's going to be a quick little pass here to Gage Florence. Bringing up second down here. You know, nice little pass there by Strand. I mean, at this point, I don't think he's going to throw a lot of, Hail Marys or anything too crazy.
I don't think we'll see a lot of very bomb throws from Strand. I feel like they're going to be more close and concise.
And yeah, this is the time of the game where you're seeing the running back and Tyson Brant get a lot more touches with the football. Strand gonna fire this one downfield. Maybe we stand corrected as it is wide open in the end zone. Carson Albert is for the Dragon touchdown.
And that is another touchdown for Moorhead, making their current score 43-34. And we still have 3 minutes left to go, but Northern's defense wants to hold strong.
43-34 indeed. Going to try to take another 10-point lead on NMU as we set up for the extra point attempt once more from Max Watson. Sets it up, sends it through, and it is good as we now have a score of 44-34. The Dragons are in the lead here.
Another 10-point difference between the teams with 3 minutes and 9 seconds left to go on the time clock. Do you feel like Northern has enough chance to get a potential lead?
The offense is going to need something very strong here on this next drive to have a chance. And, unfortunate, they left Carson Albert wide open in the end zone there. That's one of those plays where Strand could throw, right? They really could rely on Strand to throw because he was left wide open there. That was one of those, long shots that they could work with. As I mentioned, for the last little bit there, Brant was really getting a lot of the work done for Northern on the run game, or for Moorhead on the run game.
For sure, Austin.
So the Wildcats are going to need something very strong here to try and combat and erase this 10-point deficit. Try to get down here and, maybe tie the game up here. And don't want to jinx anything right now, but maybe take this one into extras.
This might be a game of overtime, but we don't know.
3:09 on the clock. The Wildcats are going to have to move quickly here. As Sebastian Amarocho sends this one, and it's going to be Isaac Olson in the backfield. He's going to let this one roll out, and the Wildcats are going to take this from the 35 because the ball went out of bounds. So already a great start. Emma going to start off at the 35-yard line. NMU is going to start off at the 35. They're just
Free
going to
kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Northern is taking the ball at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Northern Michigan going to take this from the 35. You know, can't really ask for much more here. You know, they got to get down here and score.
They need to run the ball.
At this point, you know, and I see Duke Chavold out there, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities that he's going to try to fire one downfield. He's got to be careful here because an interception could be detrimental to this game.
Both Duke and Austin Rydell have been really good today. Looks like Noah Dobert.
Dobert on the run there. Nice little handoff from Chavold to start this drive here in the fourth quarter.
Dobert has been able to plow through Moorhead's defense just enough to gain more yards.
This is going to go really quick here, and the Wildcats know that. Chavold hands it off to Wood. He's still up on his feet. Nice blocks there by that Wildcat O-line to get Wood up the field. 2:36 rolling off the clock. Wildcats again setting up rather quickly.
Austin, do you feel like it would be a good part on Coach Richardson to be able to take a timeout right now, or do you think they're going to just keep running the ball?
They need to do something with it here as it's passed downfield. No flags on the play, as that was going to be intended for, I believe, I'm trying to find the number here. It was Noah Dobert. I was trying to see if it was going to be Nico Luca Ryden, but no, check this out. Pass is broken up here. Good coverage by the Dragons on Dover. I was kind of half expecting a penalty marker to come flying in there. The timeouts remain 3 apiece. Nobody's taken one in this half. Coach Richardson might have to, or if the Wildcats can, you know, if they start going and putting pressure on the Dragons, Minnesota State Moorhead might take one. Chavold gets himself out of pressure. Fires this one over to Dobert. He's going. He's still up, and it's a Wildcat first down.
Dobert has been one of the main people to keep your eye out for this game.
And just as I
This is the 2-minute timeout.
So this is the 2-minute timeout here. Something rather new to college football in the last couple of seasons. So this is going to help out, save Coach Richardson a timeout, really save both coaches a timeout as well, considering that, you know, Northern's getting back into striking distance here. And like I said, I was kind of half expecting at some point here the Minnesota State coach to take a timeout.
We did notice that both teams decided to take their timeouts within the last few minutes of the game, of the quarter
Of the first half, yeah. You're absolutely right about that. Here, use them wisely at this point.
They will definitely be using them to their advantage as well.
And here's the play that got the Wildcats a little bit further down the field and got them another first down. So the ball is going to be marked on the 47-yard line. The Wildcats just getting over that halfway mark. 1st and 10, and 2 minutes on the clock to make something happen here.
We're definitely going to be having a very close game if Northern can get the ball down the block.
Absolutely. So here we go. 2-minute timeout is over. It's going to be snapped to Chavold. Fires one downfield. Nice reception there. And on the receiving end of that was Isaac Olson for the Wildcats. A clutch play there for NMU.
Olson has definitely gotten his time in with the ball, besides Wood and Dobert.
So here we go. 1:45 rolling off on the clock. 36 on the game clock. Chavold with the snap under center. He's going to look to throw it this time, and he finds another target. And this time, it's in the receiving end of Trevor Turkoff, the wide receiver quarterback combo. Talk about being able to play multiple positions.
We love a player that can be versatile.
So here we go. Wildcats standing up rather quickly once again. And a timeout is going to be called. and it's going to be Minnesota State Moorhead.
Timeout, Moorhead. Their first charge, timeout of the half.
As I was alluding to earlier, Wildcats putting pressure on Moorhead. They opt to take a timeout. It's a great strategy here. Settle the defense down a little bit.
And like we said, both teams decided to take their timeouts during the last few minutes of the first half. It makes sense why they would do it again.
Absolutely, especially in a critical situation like this here. You don't want this defense to kind of crumble with only 1:17 left in this game. You want to be able to make big stops, get the ball, and get out of here.
Exactly.
For Northern, you know, taking this timeout, it kind of stops your momentum a little bit, but you get time to get in the huddle, create a couple of different plays, see what works, and, you know, try to get this team into the end zone. 1:17 on the clock. 25 on the play clock. 2nd and 5 from the Minnesota State Moorhead 9-yard line. The Wildcats can get into the end zone here. Here comes the snap. Chavold wants to throw. He needs to find somebody in the end zone, and he's going to be tackled out of bounds. Great coverage by that Dragon defense, and this will bring up 3rd down for the Wildcats.
You keep seeing a flood of white consume a Wildcat player.
Absolutely, and it's to speak to that Dragon defense. You know, here we go. Look at this. Chavold looking for somebody, Emma. What do you see?
A flood of white.
And he can't find anybody. So once more, ball still on the 9-yard line. This time it's 3rd and 5. Wildcats need to do something here. Chavold looking to throw. Find somebody in the end zone. It is going to be blocked. And now the Wildcats go to 4th down. 4th and 5.
With 1:03 left, they are praying to get into the end zone.
They need to get into the end zone to make something of this. And if the Moorhead Dragons get a big stop here, this one will be pretty much all said and done. So Michael Carlin is going to go for the field goal. He was 8 for 10 in the GLIAC last year for field goals. He's going to send this one up and in, and it's going to be good. Making this a 44-37 effort here with a minute exactly on the clock remaining in this game. The Wildcats are probably going to have to go for an onside kick here, Emma.
They need to.
If you're just tuning in, we're getting to the conclusion of this college football week 0 game between the Minnesota State Moorhead Dragons and your Northern Michigan University Wildcats here on Flow Sports. Austin Graham alongside Emma Maratz here. And, you know, Emma, regardless of tonight's game, or the outcome of tonight's game, I really can't think of a better way to kick off a new college football season.
Oh, for sure, Austin. This has been one hell of a game.
Heck of a game, for sure. It's been one heck of a game here tonight between Northern Michigan and Minnesota State Moorhead. It is, you know, it's going to be interesting this last minute, to say the least, no matter who you root for here between NMU and MSU Moorhead. I would have to guess the Wildcats are going for an onside kick here, and they have to.
That's what it looks like they're setting up to do.
And onside kick bounces, and it comes into the possession of the Minnesota State Moorhead Dragons. And we're trying to find the number out of the pile. It is going to be Gage Florence that comes up with this one for the Dragons. And the Dragons are going to take this one over, and it's pretty much going to be all she wrote here. We'll take another look at the game, or at this onside kick here. Carlin trying to get it to bounce, and it goes right into the arms of Gage Florence. So, not too much to this one. The Dragons are going to set up shop here. And going to go to Jack Strand. He's going to take this one and hand it off to Tyson Brandt, who will be brought down. The 52 seconds remaining on the clock.
Timeout, Northern. First charge timeout of the half.
Northern Michigan going to take their first timeout of the half. It is, I think it's a good idea by Coach Richardson here to take this timeout. You can see this nice run by Brandt going back and forth, not sure which way he was going to go to try to find a hole and get through that NMU D-line there. But when this timeout is over, it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 49-yard line. 52 seconds on the clock. A great game. You know, we were talking earlier to kick off the season. Two very hungry, scrappy teams trying to kick off their season the best way that they can.
They're both looking for that first win, and both teams were still hungry, especially that first dynamic half. We've seen a lot of dynamic from both sides this recent half.
2nd and 10. Strand gonna try to, it looked like he was gonna try to hand off to Brandt there. He's just gonna slide. 3rd and 10. Wildcats taking another timeout here, I believe.
Timeout, Northern. Their second charge timeout.
And they have to. I mean, at this point, you know, to just stop the clock and, you know, on a hope and a prayer here, pretty much. As you can see, Strand went down. The clock was still going to roll. The Wildcats don't want that to happen.
They don't want that to. I feel like with both dynamic offense and defense that we've seen today, it was anybody's game.
Yeah, absolutely. For that first little bit there, I mean, we mentioned it in our halftime report that Northern came out and scored 3 straight touchdowns. Minnesota State Moorhead clapped back with 2, and then Northern hit another touchdown to send things into the half. And it's been an explosive second half as well. Definitely a battle of offenses, to say the least. 44-37. Not quite the defensive game, but that contrasts the two offenses, Emma.
It is a, for sure, entertaining game to start off the collegiate football season.
Strand fires one downfield, and it's into the arms of Brady Perryman.
Holding, offense number 76. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So the Wildcats get a little lucky there as a holding penalty is called on the offense. It'll be a 10-yard penalty for Minnesota State Moorhead. They got to bring this one back a couple of yards, and that beautiful catch made there by Perryman isn't going to count. So with 38 on the game clock, the Wildcats are going to try to make a big stop here, Emma. It is 3rd and 20.
3rd and 20, that is a good way to go. Like you said, with only 38 left, Northern is looking for any way to get back to the end zone.
And he's going to hand this off to Tyson Brandt. And I mean, at this point, Moorhead is just going to try to, you know, maybe run this clock down a little bit.
Timeout, Northern. Their 3rd and final timeout.
So this will be NMU's 3rd and final timeout of the half. 32 seconds remaining in the game.
This has been a close game the entire day.
Absolutely. And I believe this timeout might have come before the snap even got off. I'm not sure because it's still reading 32 seconds on the clock here in the Superior Dome, and still reading 3rd and 20 from the 49. So I believe this timeout was called before this ball could even get snapped. So the clock will remain stopped. Wildcats still down 44-37.
They're looking to gain a few more yards as we come to the last few seconds of our game.
And a big defensive stand needed here for NMU. It's going to be punted away. Maybe it was 4th down. The clock operator, or scoreboard operator, just hasn't changed it yet. So this is punted away. NMU going to take over. It'll be with 26 seconds on the clock. Got to make something happen here, Emma.
For sure, Austin, they are looking for any way to get towards the end zone with 26 seconds left.
1st and 10. The ball will be spotted on the 43-yard line in the NMU zone of the field. Wildcat players here on the sidelines hyping people up. This building trying to come to its feet to support their Wildcats. Here comes Duke Chevald.
Looks like
Takes
he's
off
taking
with the ball. Tried to get this one off to a receiver there. Wasn't able to get it to Hayden May, who was on the run there for NMU.
Looks like they're trying to just complete any passes that they can. Chevald has been really good about getting the ball down to the
receivers. Absolutely, he's been phenomenal with throwing the ball here tonight. He's going to send this one way downfield, and it's going to be just overthrown as the intended target was Isaac Olson.
Olson has been a strong player this game. It was just slightly overthrown, otherwise Isaac would have had it.
And he was, like we kind of mentioned with Minnesota State Moorhead here today. Take another look at this. Olson went way downfield. Nice coverage there by the Dragons. Wasn't able to catch that one. We talked about how Tyson Brandt hasn't had a lot of touches as the running back for Moorhead today. Olson hasn't had a lot as the wide receiver for NMU. Another shot here, and it's going to be picked off as Kenan Stowers picks off Duke Chevald.
7 seconds left in this game, Austin.
And that'll be the end of it. The Dragons will walk out of the Superior Dome back to Moorhead, Minnesota with a 44-37 win over NMU, and this is the play that made it happen. Kenan Stowers makes the game-winning play, the game-winning interception to send this one home for us. Minnesota State Dragons, Moorhead Dragons, I should say, will start off their season 1-0, and the NMU Wildcats still looking for their first win since the 2022 season. We'd like to thank you for tuning in tonight on Flow Sports. Catch us here next time when the St. Thomas Tommies come to town to take on the NMU Wildcats here in the Superior Dome. Until next time, I'm Austin Graham.
I'm Emma Maratz.
Have a great evening.